This is Chapter 2, Lecture 3. We're going to be discussing significant figures. Significant figures are the digits in the measurement plus one more that you estimated. So here we have an object that we're going to measure the length of. I'm just highlighting here so you see it better. And with ruler A, which measures in whole numbers, I know it's somewhere between 4 and 5, but I'm not quite sure what it might be. So I'm going to say it is 4.8. The 8 is an estimation, but it counts for the number of significant figures in your measurement. So this would have two what we call sig figs, the one you know and the one that you estimate. If I use ruler B, I can see that now the length is 4.8 and then somewhere between 8 and 9. So I'm going to say 4.85. This measurement has 3 sig figs, the 2 that I know and the 1 that I estimate. So as the measuring tool gets more refined, the number of significant figures increases. Significant figures only get difficult when the answer has a 0 in it, because there's many rules for how to handle a 0. So turn to page 18, and in the open area, write down these numbers: 3.84, 3.80, 3.08, 0.008, 0.0800, and 0.00080. And what we're going to do is figure out how many significant figures do each of these numbers have. So the first one is easy. Since there are no zeros, there are 3 sig figs. The 2 that you know, 3.8, and the 1 that you estimated, the 4. But in 3.80, you measured that 0. That 0 counts just as much if it was a 1 or a 2 or an 8. So this one also has 3 sig figs. If a 0 is embedded, it was a measured value. So this 3.08 has 3 sig figs. The difficulty comes when you have zeros before a non-zero and a 0 after a non-zero number. Basically, the zeros on the end of a number count and the zeros before don't count. So 0.0800 actually has 3 sig figs. You measured the 2 zeros after the 8, but the 0 before the 8 is only a placeholder. You did not measure that. So in 0.00080, nothing to the left counts, to the right it does. So here you have 2 sig figs. You only measured the 8 and the 0 at the end. We are going to discuss this more in class, but for now, try 3 on your own. 4.0600, 4.160, 0.004160. So pause the video if you want and go ahead and try those 3. The first one has 5 sig figs. The next one has 4. And the final one also has 4. So don't worry if you don't understand it. We're going to discuss it in class. That is it for today. We'll do the worksheet at the top in class also, and we will see you in class.